let's recreate last year. Here is outside the back door, dianthus. My poinsettias from a few years ago, they've had their run. Green stock. This is Grammy's garden area, and it is being converted into basically all natives except for my Asiatic lilies. Those are zinnias all along there, and the tulips that come in before the zinnias. Cardinal flower. A couple of new ones there. Way station sign. Volunteer sunflower. A disobedient plant. Volunteer borage. Some things that might be weeds or might not. We'll let them grow and see what happens. I think maybe that's mist flower. There's a little horsetail. Some more borage. Lavender. And then the tulips run all along the outer edge, and when they're done, the zinnias get planted. Then, swing. No cardinal climber this year here. This is my little homemade bath for the hummingbirds, although I haven't seen anybody on it. And there's two little turtle head flower plants I just put in. Some little mini Joe Pye, another volunteer sunflower, two new little sweet pea, and I forget what that one's called. The clematis. The bird bath. And then I'm gonna go over here, and this is the bird feeding station. Used to be a swing set here, and I dug out all the mulch, and an outdoor rug fit perfectly, so it makes for easy cleanup. I sprinkle stuff on the ground for the ground feeders, and then there's all different feeders for whoever wants whatever. My woolly pipe vine. The surprise garden. It's a surprise because when I winter sowed everything, they didn't have labels by spring. Baptista. Annual orange cosmos. Oh, sorry, just got attacked by a Japanese beetle. I believe that's mist flower taken over there. Pearly everlasting. And mallows I just put in this year. I think that's a more disobedient plant. I don't know if those are weeds or not. They look kind of like it. Some salvia. I don't remember what this was. It was a white flower. It's run its course. There's some little ones up front. And this is New England aster. And in there is actually rattlesnake master and some swamp milkweed. Everything is super tall. The back side has common ironweed, tall ironweed, yellow coneflower, but it's the Illinois native. It's not an echinacea. I think that's an ironweed. It's like 6 feet tall there. I'm not sure what that is. Those the giant coneflowers. Here is a little button bush I grew from seed. Those are my wild blue indigos I grew from seed. That milkweed's popping up over here. And there is another button bush I started from seed. Just a mixture of all kinds of stuff. The ugly shed. And then here's the back corner. Got pumpkins growing now. This is what used to flood all the time, and I have a pump sunk down in the ground, so I'm trying to hide that. So I do have a button bush amongst this mess. I think this is sneezeweed from last year, along with pumpkins. This is a button bush, and this is a button bush, and hopefully those will then hide that pump. It's not milkweed going crazy, because this is a good wet area. Not sure what these little yellow flowers are, but they look pretty, so they can stay. And that's inside the trellis. That is a birdhouse gourd growing up there. And those are pumpkins growing up there. This is my poor plant that is sick. I don't know, I think it might be too much moisture back here for that. Golden Alexander, milkweeds. I do believe this might be more sneezeweed, maybe. Some volunteer sunflowers. This, I believe, is a New England aster with pumpkins or gourds, one of the gourds coming out on top of it. And then the pumpkin vines. I think that's a goat's beard, or I forget what that one is called. The other one is hiding in here. Pumpkins are taking over it. So on this side of the trellis is loofah gourd, birdhouse gourd, pear gourds, turban gourds, and a cornucopia mix. And then all in here is where I planted, and on that side, 5 different types of pumpkins. You can see the damage from the vine borers. And I think that's going to probably be more sneezeweed, because that stuff goes everywhere, like a sneeze. I suppose that's why it's called that. So there's the pumpkins. Back up. And there's that corner. And then this is the original garden. Started out as an 8x8 plot in 2015. Some volunteer sunflowers, orange cosmos. The milkweed is going everywhere. Echinacea, black-eyed Susans. Salt milkweed, more echinacea in there. And then this is the Joe Pye. I go on this side. This was 4 little plants I put in, and now they are taller than me. They're spreading like crazy. They're huge. And here's another volunteer. And then this is the milkweed patch. Sorry about the motorcycle. It is 90 degrees here in Illinois today. And then as we get back around, there's the Monarda, which is just getting inundated with milkweed. Milkweed's going crazy. Plenty of milkweed here. I have a little patch of strawberries. I tried to give them away, get most of them away. And then here is the pool garden. This is where the swimming pool used to be. So this is just a pot of dill and junk. This is the phlox box. So there's tall phlox, creeping phlox, and some kind of weed coming out of there. More dill. And I don't remember the name of these 2 little guys I put in here. Something that's good for the hummingbirds. And of course more dill. Salvia. Shasta daisy, tuberosa. Filling station is dry. Sedum. This is dill popping up in another little basket. Just a coleus and some dusty miller. This is a native grass. I forget what it's called, but something likes to make a home in there. It did last year too. The big button bush that like jumped leaps and bounds this year. Can't believe how big it is. There's our gnome happy. We do have The little spice bushes kind of hidden in the button bush. The pond, waterfall, water fountain. Another button bush. And as you come along this side, the coleus and dusty miller, salvia, rue, some blanket flower in there. Look at that big old bee. Big old fat bee. And there's a butter. I don't know what he is. We need to learn about bees. And this is just from the other side. Coneflower. Oh, there's a monarch. A coneflower. This is speedwell. I think those are horsetails. I need to get those pulled out. Some more dill, a little bit of tuberosa, alliums. That's just a bunch of weeds. That's just a bunch of weeds. The rue I cut back to like nothing in the spring, and all three of them are just huge now. I don't remember what that's called, but that's cardinal flower. My granddaughter likes to walk through. There's so many weeds in the pea gravel though. It's time for another load of pea gravel. And then the veggie garden. So there's the original garden, and then the pool garden, and then the veggie garden. I just harvested all the garlic out of there. Everything's up in a raised bed because my dirt sucks and the ground floods all the time. Got blueberry bushes. There's an elderberry bush. Cucumbers. That's the watermelon patch back there, and strawberries behind it. Some zucchini. Zucchini. These are cantaloupe. We've got purple beans, green beans, cucumbers on that trellis. Tomatoes. Tomatoes everywhere. I love tomatoes. Don't mind the mess. I was pruning tomatoes today. To the other side of this tree, crabapple tree. So this is a volunteer. Look at the size of this. A volunteer tomato. I have no idea what it's going to be. I'm guessing probably some cherry tomato. And I've just let it run wild. The rest of the tomatoes I've kind of been trying to keep pruned. But man, they grow fast. They just get out of control so easily. So let me go back. Let's see. So there's the veggie garden. Yes, I have danger signs up because people are stupid and will touch the electric fence. Just another side. Tomatoes. Here's a strawberry bed. Peppers. There's our watermelons that are starting to go. I do have some watermelons, some black diamond I think are the ones that I've seen growing so far. Asparagus. Oh, my basil is going to seed. Parsley for the swallowtails. And then some sage and rosemary. I don't know if this cabbage are going to survive the heat. But this is the veggie garden. That way. And then here's the back side of the pool garden. Here's some sunflowers. There's a little plot of zinnias. Some of the Monarda came back from here. Oh, there's that big giant bee again. their box. It's the dill. Cheers to Daisy. I hope this wasn't all blurry. Okay, there you have it. Walk through the yard.